Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jain the Rank Zone classes. I'm your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology part, that is animal science. My dear students, in the last lecture, we discussed about pancreas, the hormones of pancreas, the hypo and hypersecretion of insulin, and the other hormones. Today, we are going to start with a very important topic, that is thymus gland. Although the applications of thymus gland, they are in the immune system. I mean, when we study about in class 12 human health and diseases, in the formation and maturation of T lymphocytes. So starting with this thymus gland, which is a very small gland. The thymus is a bilobed gland and is located in the upper part of the thorax. It is located in the upper part of the thorax near the heart in the mediastinum. Okay, mediastinum is the midline of the body. Okay, in which the it is present. The thymus is bilobed. It is located in the upper part of the thorax near the heart in the mediastinum. It is endodermal in origin, arising in the embryo from the epithelium of the outer part of the third branchial pouch. Thymus is a bilobed gland. It is located in the upper part of the thorax, near the heart in the mediastinum. It is endodermal in origin, and it arises in the embryo from the third pharyngeal pouch or brachial pouch. Okay, outer part of the third brachial pouch. Structure. Structurally, it is like a lymph gland enveloped by a thin, loose, and fibrous connective tissue capsule. Septa means division, also known as trabeculae, extending inwards from the capsule, divide the two lobes of the gland into a number of small lobules, just as in case of thyroid gland. Each lobule is distinguished into a cortical parenchyma, outer, containing numerous lymphocytes, and a medullary inner mass of large, irregularly branched, and interconnected epithelial cells. Okay, just wait a minute. So it is divided into lobules. Each lobule is distinguished into a cortical parenchymal part, which is having numerous lymphocytes, and a medullary, which is the inner part made up of large, irregularly branched cells, and they are interconnected by epithelial cells, also known as reticular cells. A few lymphocytes and some phagocytic cells called macrophages or Hessel's corpuscles are also found here. A few lymphocytes and some phagocytic cells called macrophages or Hessel's corpuscles are also found here. Okay, this is the location of thymus gland. It is between sternum and heart, having two lobes. The atropies mean the dissolution of the gland happens within an age of 11 to 13 years. Structure and function. The outer part is cortex made up of pre-T lymphocytic cells migrate to the thymus. These pre-mature T lymphocyte cells get proliferated and matured here. Formation of dendritic cells happens here. Macrophages happens here, and inner medulla is having same more functions. This is the placement of the thymus gland. You can see the two lobes of the thymus gland. Okay, this is the parietal pericardium. Okay, superior vena cava, right common carotid artery, trachea, thyroid gland, right lung, left lung, diaphragm. Function of thymus gland. Thymus is hemopoietic as well as an endocrine gland. Thymus is called the seed bed of thymic lymphocytes or T lymphocytes. Certain stem cells originating in yolk sac and liver in early embryo, but only in bone marrow in late embryo, migrate into the thymus and proliferate to form large number of lymphocytes. Thymus is a hemopoietic tissue as well as an endocrine gland. It is considered to be a seed bed of thymic lymphocytes or T lymphocytes. Certain stem cells originating in yolk sac and liver in early embryo, but in late embryo they appear in the bone marrow. They migrate into the thymus and get proliferated to form large number of lymphocytes. The major function of thymus is to secrete thymosin hormone, thymic humoral factor THF, and thymic factor TF, and thymopoietin. The major function of the thymus is to secrete thymosin hormone, thymic humoral factor THF, thymic factor TF, and thymopoietin. These compounds induce not only the proliferation of lymphocytes but also their differentiation into a variety of clones differently specialized to destroy different specific categories of antigens and pathogens likely to get into the body. This is called maturation of lymphocytes. Not only proliferation happens in thymus, proliferation plus maturation. Maturation happens in thymus gland. Okay. As it is clear from the above account, thymus is essential in neonatal, newborn, infant, and a postnatal child after birth for normal development of lymphoid organs and, very importantly, cellular immunity. That is why thymus is very small at birth, progressively grows in size as the age proceeds, about 3 to 4 folds up to the age of puberty. But this time, lymphoid organs and tissues are very well developed. The thymus therefore starts gradually diminishing in the size, and its tissue is progressively infiltrated by yellowish adipose tissue. This is known as immunity theory of aging. By the old age, the thymus is reduced to quite a thin yet functional cord of tissue. To physiologic, this is known as what? Physiologic atrophy. Okay, so it is very clear from the above data what we have read about thymus that it is very essential for the development of lymphoid organs and cellular immunity, especially in the neonates and under the postnatal life. Okay, by the time of puberty, lymphoid organs and tissues they get developed by their own, and that is why the thymus get infiltrated by yellowish adipose tissue. Okay, and becomes a cord of tissue only to function to release the T lymphocytes. Now comes pineal gland or epiphysis. Pineal gland is it is also known as epiphysis cerebri. Okay, origin, position, and structure. It is a small zero point 0.1 to 0.29 whitish and somewhat flattened ectodermal gland situated at the tip of small fibrous stalk that arise from the dorsal wall of diencephalon. That is the roof of epithalamus, the roof of the third ventricle of the brain known as epithalamus. So it is a small zero point 0.1 to 0.3 size of whitish and somewhat flattened ectodermal gland situated at the tip of the A small fibrous stalk that arises from the dorsal wall of the diencephalon, known as epithalamus, or the roof of the third ventricle of the brain. Due to its location, it is known as what epiphysis cerebri. It is covered over by a thin capsule formed by the pia mater of the brain. Pia mater, dura mater, and arachnoid, they are the coverings of the brain. Septae or the division of this membrane extend into the gland, dividing it into the lobules, having two types of branched tooth cells. The large and modified nerve cells, called pinealocytes, and interstitial or neuroglial cells forming the supporting tissue. So the supporting tissue is made up of neuroglial or interstitial cells, and the outer cells are modified nerve cells, which are large, known as pinealocytes. Okay, in the pineal gland, it starts degenerating about the age of 7 years because of the deposition of granules of calcium salts brain send in it. So because of calcification or calcific atrophy happens in pineal gland. Because of the deposition of calcium salts brain send, it gets degenerated at the age of 7 years. Function of pineal gland. Hormone. Though the functions of the gland is still the subject of current research, it is known to secrete one hormone, melatonin. Melatonin concentration in the blood appears to flow a diurnal day-night cycle as it arises in the evening and through the night and drops to low around noon. Melatonin lightens skin color in certain animals and regulates working of gonads, especially testes and ovaries. Light falling on the retina of the eye decreases melatonin production. Darkness stimulates melatonin synthesis. Girls blind from the birth attain puberty earlier than normal, apparently because there is no inhibitory effect of melatonin on ovarian function. The main function of the pineal gland is to secrete melatonin hormone, which maintains the biological clock or the circadian rhythm. Biological clock. Okay. The concentrations of melatonin hormone are more in the evening and through the night. It drops to a low around noon. It lightens the skin color in certain animals and regulates the working of gonads, especially testes and ovaries. Light falling on the retina of the eye decreases melatonin production. Darkness stimulates melatonin synthesis. Girls who are blind from birth, attain puberty at the earlier stages because of no inhibitory effect of melatonin on ovarian function. Serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter found in the other locations of the brain. It is also found in the pineal gland. Research evidence is accumulating to support the idea that pineal gland may be involved in regulating the cyclic phenomenon of the body. Melatonin also is a potent antioxidant. Melatonin causes atrophy of the gonads in several animals. Now comes gonads. The gonads are the sex glands, testis and ovary. Testis is the male gonad and ovary is the female gonad. Besides producing the gametes, the gonads secrete sex hormones from the onset of the puberty, that is sexual maturity, to control the reproductive organs and sexual functions. The sex hormone was discovered by Adolphe Butenonal in 1929 and 1931. He won 1939. He won the Nobel Prize jointly with the Leopold Ruzicka. The sex hormone was discovered by Adolphe and Butenol in 1929 and 1931. He won the Nobel Prize of 1939 along with Leopold Ruzicka. Testis. Testis is the male gonad. It is located between the seminiferous tubules. In testis, between the seminiferous tubules, special types of cells are present, which is known as what interstitial cells or the cells of Leydig. These cells secrete male hormones, androgens, and one of the most important androgen is testosterone. These androgens are derived from cholesterol, means they are steroidal based. The main androgen is testosterone, and other less important androgens are androstenedione and dehydroepiandrosterone. It is a masculinizing hormone from puberty to age of about 20 years, adolescence of the or the period of sexual maturation or attainment of adulthood. So, inside testes, between the seminiferous tubules, there are some specialized cells known as interstitial cells or the cells of Leydig. They secrete male hormones known as androgens, which are derived from cholesterol. The main androgen is testosterone, and other less important androgens are dehydroepiandrosterone (DHEA) and androstenedione. It is a masculinizing hormone which is responsible for developing male secondary sexual characteristics. From puberty to age of about 20 years, the adolescence or the period of sexual maturation or attainment of adulthood. Transverse section of seminiferous tubules, you can see it is covered by a layer tunica albuginea. These are the seminiferous tubules which are, you know, coiled tubes. When it is cut and transverse section is seen, then you can see the interstitial cells. These spermatogonia, they are in different stages: primary spermatogonia, secondary spermatogonia, like that. This is the lumen of seminiferous tubule where the mature sperms are laid down. This is the basement membrane, and these are sperm cells. You can see the Sertoli cells, which are known as what, nurse cells, which help in the feeding of developing sperms. Okay, these are primary spermatocyte, then secondary spermatocytes, like that. Primary spermatocyte is diploid, that is 2N, which undergoes meiosis to form secondary spermatocyte, which are N, haploid in condition, which further form spermatids, which are haploid but are immature, which basically lays down under the Sertoli cells secretions, okay, inside the lumen, and forms spermatozoa, which are mature sperms. Okay, function. It stimulates the male reproductive system to grow to full size and become functional. It stimulates the formation of sperm, that is spermatogenesis, in seminiferous tubules. It stimulates the development of male accessory sexual characters such as development of hair on face, beard and mustaches, growth and distribution of the hair on the body, thickening of skin, deepening of voice, enlargement of larynx, broadening of shoulders, narrow lips, and large and stronger bones and muscles. It also maintains these characters. It also determines the male sexual behavior like sexual urge, aggressive behavior. Under the effect of testosterone, protein anabolism increases. This function is obvious in the heavier muscles and bone mass of most men as compared to women. So it stimulates the male reproductive system to grow to its full size and become functional. It stimulates the formation of sperm, that is spermatogenesis, in the seminiferous tubules. It stimulates the development of male accessory or secondary sexual characteristics as hair on face, okay, like beard and mustaches. It helps in the growth and distribution of hair on the body, thickening of skin, deepening of voice, enlargement of larynx, broadening of shoulders, narrowing of lips, and stronger bones and muscles. It also maintains the characters like determination of male sexual urge, aggressive behavior, under the effect of testosterone, which increases the protein anabolic, metabolism, which further increases the muscular mass and the bone mass of most of the males. It also promotes the erythropoiesis in bone marrow. In brief, testosterone determines libido or sexual drive. It also required, together with the follicle stimulating hormone of the pituitary, for the initiation and completion of spermatogenesis. All androgens are also secreted in traces from adrenal glands in both boys and girls. Increased sebaceous gland secretion. It increases the sebaceous gland secretion at the age of puberty, which is responsible for the formation of acne. Pimples. Development of testes. Under the effect of chorionic gonadotropic hormone secreted by the placenta during pregnancy, the testes of 8 to 9 months of old fetus start secreting testosterone. So, under the effect of CGH, chorionic gonadotropin hormone secreted by placenta during pregnancy, the testes of 8 to 9 months of old fetus start secreting testosterone. The testosterone regulates differentiation and development of urogenital system accessory genital organs, and external genitalia in the embryo. During childhood, from birth to puberty, at the age of 11 to 13 years, testes remain quiescent with less functional so that androgens are not secreted. At puberty, the gonadotropic hormones, follicle stimulating hormone, and interstitial cell stimulating hormone of pituitary reactivate the testes, which therefore start producing sperms and resume secreting androgens. Up to the age of about 40 years, the androgens are secreted in sufficient amount. Therefore, thereafter their secretion starts gradually declining, but the capability of reproduction still continues for many years. Castration. Surgical removal of testes is called castration or orchidectomy. Castration or deficient secretion of testosterone, that is hypogonadism, before puberty due to congenital defects or injury to the testes retards the growth of genitalia, muscular mass, deposition, bone density, as well as the development of sexual characteristics. Castration or hypogonadism after puberty preserves the libido but diminishes its overall efficiency, demuscularization, muscular strength, hair growth, spermatogenesis, sex urge, and potency sharply decline. Sometimes the person becomes impotent. Castration is widely used in animal husbandry and domestication. Castrated cattle, horses, fowls are respectively called steers, geldings, and capons. Castration make these docile. Very important. Ovary. Primary ovarian follicles or primordial ovarian follicles are formed in the primitive ovaries of the female fetus as early as about 16 weeks of gestation, but these do not secrete hormones. Even in the early childhood, about the age of 7 to 8 years, ovaries remain quiescent. Thereafter, the pituitary starts secreting gonadotropins, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, under whose influence puberty in girls sets in at about the age of 11 to 13 years. Ovaries become active and menstrual cycle begins so that the girls attain sexual maturity. Reproductive period. Ovarian function and menstrual cycles in women normally cease at about the age of 45 to 55 years. This is called menopause. It usually results in a rise of urinary excretion of gonadotropins of the pituitary gland. So at the time of menopause, the urinary excretion of gonadotropins of the pituitary gland, FSH and LH, increases. Okay. Ovarian hormone under the influence of FSH and LH, this secretes three male female sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and relaxin. They are derived from cholesterol, means steroidal hormones. They are secreted by the cells of Graafian follicles, that is, mature follicles surrounding the maturing ovum in the ovary. Estrogens. Estrogens are secreted by the Graafian follicles surrounding the maturing ovum in the ovary. They stimulate the female reproductive tract to grow to full size and become functional. They also stimulate the differentiation of ova, that is oogenesis, in the ovary. They also stimulate the development of accessory sexual characters in females such as enlargement of breast, broadening of pelvis, growth of pubic and axillary hair, deposition of fat in the thighs, and onset of menstrual cycle. Graafian follicles also stimulate to secrete estrogen by luteinizing hormone from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. The rise of blood estrogen's level above the normal inhibits the secretion of luteinizing hormone from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland via the inhibitory or negative feedback mechanism. Progesterone. It is secreted by the corpus luteum, very important. The later is a yellowish body. Corpus luteum is a yellowish body formed in the empty Graafian follicle after the release of the ovum. This hormone suspends the ovulation during pregnancy. Okay, fixes the fetus to the uterine wall, so it basically increases the chances of implantation. It forms in the placenta and controls the development of fetus in the uterus. Ovulation, formation of corpus luteum, and secretion of progesterone are stimulated by luteinizing hormone LH, while secretion of estrogens are under the control of FSH and LH both from the anterior pituitary. Okay. Relaxin. It is produced by the corpus luteum at the end of the gestational period. It relaxes the cervix of the uterus at the time of labor or parturition. It is delivering of the baby. The ligaments of the pelvic girdle becomes relaxed, and it they makes the passage easy for the delivering of the young one. So estrogen, progesterone, and relaxin, these are the three ovarian hormones which are released under the influence of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone from the anterior lobe of the pituitary. Regulation of ovarian hormones. Secretion of estrogens is regulated by gonadotropins of pituitary, that is FSH and LH. Under secretion of estrogens, hypogonadism before puberty due to congenital defects or damage to ovaries causes anacoidism. Female anacoidism. Okay. Accessory genitals and breast remains undeveloped. Pelvis remains narrow and buttocks flat. Secondary sexual characteristics also do not develop. Hypogonadism in adulthood reduces fertility and disturbs menstrual cycle. Oversecretion or hypersecretion or hypergonadism of estrogens also disturbs the menstrual cycle and may cause even cervical cancers. Progesterone, also called anti-abortion hormone, Gravidex test involves testing of human chorionic gonadotropin of placenta in the urine to test the pregnancy. Gravidex test under the name Prega News. Pregex. Contraceptive pills contains less estrogen and more progesterone, so-called combined pills. They check ovulation and show pregnancy in female. Adiposogenital syndrome, also called hypothalamic anacoidism, characterized by hypogonadism in male caused by genetic inability of hypothalamus to secrete gonadotropin releasing hormones. Adipocogenital syndrome is basically known as hypothalamic anacoidism characterized by hypogonadism in male caused by genetic inability of hypothalamus to secrete gonadotropin releasing hormone. Hormonal contraception. Female contraception, as already described, gonads are stimulated by producing sex cells, that is, gametes, and secrete sex hormones by gonadotropic hormones FSH and LH of anterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary in turn stimulates to secrete gonadotropins by gonadotropin releasing hormone from hypothalamus. In women, FSH promotes oogenesis and secretion of female hormones estrogens. LH promotes ovulation, formation of corpus luteum, and secretion of progesterone from it. A negative feedback regulation operates between GnRH and gonadotropins, that is LH and FSH, on one hand, and between gonadotropins and female hormones on the other hand. Hence, high concentrations of female hormones like estrogens retards the secretion of FSH and LH and gonadotropin releasing hormone, due to which oogenesis does not occur and pregnancy is out of question. So, it follows a negative feedback regulation. If more amount of estrogen, which further inhibits the hypothalamus to release gonadotropin releasing hormone, which further inhibits the pituitary to release LH and FSH, which further stops the proliferation of ovaries or formation of mature Graafian follicle. Contraceptive pills are the mixtures of estrogens and progesterone are more effective. The most popular contraceptive pill contains synthetic ethinyl estradiol and synthetic progesterone, norethindrone. In modern method, a capsule of synthetic progesterone like levonorgestrel is implanted under the skin. The capsule serves for contraction of about 5 years. Contraceptive pills are the mixtures of estrogens and progesterones which are more effective. The most popular contraceptive pills are synthetic ethinyl estradiol and synthetic progesterone, norethindrone. In a modern method, a capsule of synthetic progesterone like levonorgestrel is placed under the skin. This capsule can promote the contraceptive action for about 5 years. Abortion is also permissible in many countries to check population growth since progesterone is necessary to maintain early pregnancy. Drugs like mifepristone, RU486, which inhibit the effects of progesterone, are administered for abortion. Since progesterone is necessary to maintain early pregnancy, drugs like mifepristone, RU486, which inhibits the effects of progesterone, are administered for abortion. Male contraception. In men, LH stimulates the cells of leading to secrete male hormones, androgens, of which testosterone is the principal hormone. Testosterone in turn inhibits LH secretion but not FSH secretion by anterior pituitary. FSH and testosterone stimulates spermatogenesis. It has been found that large doses of testosterone can inhibit the secretion of GnRH by thalamic cells, hypothalamic cells, thereby inhibiting secretion of both LH and FSH by pituitary. Hence, systematically administered injections of testosterone have been suggested as a means of male contraception. Okay, so also shows a negative feedback depending upon the optimal concentration of testosterone in the blood. Recently, the cells of Sertoli and seminiferous tubules have been found to secrete a protein factor very important called inhibin, which directly inhibits the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone by pituitary. Hence, inhibin as a male contraceptive is now being explored. Okay. So, my dear students, this is all about the gonads, thymus, and pineal gland. In the next term, I will be discussing some more hormones, okay, necessary hormones. Till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe, stay healthy.